What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cava today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, this is a project that I've recently taken an interest to. Shout out to Hoshi for recommending this, right? I've heard of Cava before. I didn't really look into it last cycle. I didn't look into it at all through the bear cycle, but looking into it now, I think is a good time, right? It's at a pretty low price. Imagine buying here last cycle. That didn't work out too bad for you at all, did it? In fact, I'm actually curious. What did you do when you broke out? How long did that take? That took 68 weeks. If you took 68 weeks now, that would be 2026. So yeah, I don't think you do that, right? I don't think you're gonna top off in 20. I mean, you never know. You never know. It could happen. I'm suspecting that the altcoin market ends and the crypto cycle ends late this year, November, December. And even if it didn't, even if it ended 2026, I certainly don't expect it to be May of 2026. Not a whole year away from now. I don't think we have that left in us. But I wouldn't be surprised, even though it took this much time to hit this all-time high, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing took less time and saw more growth, genuinely. And we'll see. We don't know that for sure. It's just an opinion. It's just a theory at this point, but we'll know better when we see how this thing breaks out, right? If you by April, May, you're only up here at $1.30, kind of in this area, okay, then maybe you don't see new all-time highs this cycle. If by April, May, you're already up and maybe you back tested for support and then you're moving up again, okay, I think you've got a better chance. So let's see how you break out of this. I have some assumptions of what's going to happen. I think right now what it looks like is you've got this inverse head and shoulders, right? And you haven't formed your right shoulder, right? I know what that looks like. You guys know what it looks like. It looks like a Speedo or a sumo wrestler's diaper, whatever those things are called. Anyways, uniform. Let's call it a uniform, okay? I bet someone in the comments knows what it's called, and they're going to leave it in the comments if anyone's curious. So if you were to see an inverse head and shoulders pattern, you might move up to this area to complete the right shoulder. If you were to do that, it makes sense because you found resistance here at this area here, support in this area, and resistance here before. You even, whenever you started your move up last time, found a little bit of resistance in this area before moving higher, didn't you? So you could do this exact same thing. That move, by the way, relatively speaking, from this exact same price, actually, that went up about 157% in the course of 1, 2, 3 weeks. And I could see that happening. Maybe it goes up to 157%. But I think this cycle, you are more poised, you're more bullish from a fundamental perspective than you were last cycle. Last cycle, you had a lot of inflation going on with your project, right? This cycle, there's no inflation, zero inflation at all. And I theorize that could lead to an overall more powerful move. But beyond just what you did in the first 3 weeks here, look at the move that it ignited overall, right? Could you not see something like that here? I personally don't expect that you're going to move all the way up to 578 by the end of February, by the end of April. I personally don't expect that, but man, if you did, I think that'd be really bullish. Let's actually see. I'm kind of curious. How long did that take you overall? It took you 14 bars. I just didn't get it right, but we'll keep it there. 14. If you were to start moving out this week, let's say this is the week you were starting moving out. I don't know why it keeps moving off. There we go. 14 bars would put you in May. Yeah, man. I don't know if you're up here by April, May, yeah, you're going to see new all-time highs, definitely. And I'm just saying, last time, again, you had a lot of inflation going on, and that's why there was these key selling points, just dramatic sell-offs, right? You don't have that now. So I would imagine if you come to these same points of resistance that you did last cycle, the rejections would be more tame, dramatically more tame, is kind of my assumption. But I don't know. I'm going to buy some Cava myself. I've actually got some buy orders set. I might have to buy at higher levels. I don't know what to expect, okay? The buys, the orders that I've got, the play that I'm making for Cava, it is a short-term play. It's not something that I'm intending to sell at new all-time highs. It's just something I'm intending to buy here, see how this pump goes, and then sell, right? Is it going to stop here? Is it going to stop here? Is it going to just rip all the way up like it did last time? I mean, I would love it if I caught that, and that's why I took a small bit of play money, a little bit of short-term time frame money, and I put it in here because at the very worst, at the very least best case scenario, it underperforms most cryptos, and all I get is, or actually it probably performs about average with the rest of the market, and it gets about 145% growth. That quite literally is the average expected move for crypto. Or it moves all the way up here and it gets a 209% move. Either way, if it doesn't see this spectacular 10x or more within the next month or 2 or 3 or 4, I'm okay with that, right? Because again, this is just a short-term play. I'm just in it to make money. But the reason why I bought this is because while I do believe it's going to go up, and I think truthfully, if I was to expect something, I would expect that it goes up a modest amount. It probably finds resistance in this area just as it did last time. I don't know if you get the same reaction. I'm not anticipating that, but I am taking interest in this project in case it does, right? I love coins that do that. XCN is a perfect example, man. I really did not. I said the same thing about XCN. Just because I'm saying the same thing about XCN now does not mean that it applies to Cava, but it could. You never know. Okay, you never know. And it would be lucky if it did. But back here, when we were talking about is XCN going to see new all-time highs or not, I said it depends on what we do with the breakout move. It depends on what we do. And we did the thing, man. We did the thing. So absolutely we're going to see new all-time highs, right? It wasn't so clear down here. I had confidence that we would, but it wasn't so clear. And I definitely, even though I had confidence we would, I didn't expect a move like this, right? We were calling for moves like this would have been April, May. It would have been a lot later of a time frame. Definitely not expecting that to have happened in January, but grateful that it did. Definitely grateful that it did. So same kind of concept here. I'm expecting 145 to a 200% move. Grateful if it happens. That's phenomenal. That's what I want. I'm in it for the short term. I'm putting a little bit of money in this. If it doubles, if it triples, great. I'll sell it and I'll put it into the next thing. It's not a long-term hold at all. And then if not, if it exceeds, well, then maybe I can sell the same amount I was thinking about selling, put it into other stuff, and then just hold the rest and let it ride and see what it does, right? If we get some kind of crazy, and just because I'm drawing it all the way up here doesn't mean that it has to go up here. I'm just saying that's what it did last time. That's all I'm saying. And in my opinion, you're more bullishly poised now. You've got the double bottom, literally to a perfect degree, double bottom, okay? You've got the cup and handle, right? If that's not a cup and handle, you could call it a running flat, right? It could be some kind of running flat pattern. If you don't know what a running flat pattern is, look it up. This is a bullish running flat. If it's not a running flat, it's a move up and you've got a bull flag. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It seems to be bullishly postured all throughout. You're finding support here at the previous areas that you found support before you made this move up, right? At the very least, you're going to perform average. But out of a lot of these coins that we look at on a day-to-day basis, I think this one has a solid chance to perform a little bit above average. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything. So if you guys like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It was a lot more talk than it was analysis, I suppose. But with this, I will say that anytime you get above the 236, I will, even in the midst of a pump, I will blindly buy at moments like this, even if it goes down, and then I'll just buy more. Because whenever you break above the 236, it's basically inevitable that you're going to interact with the 382. It's basically inevitable, right? And you don't have a guarantee. There's never a guarantee of anything, but to me, it's basically a guarantee, which is why even if the move went up like this and I had to wait a little while for it to come back down, and sometimes that happens with those 236 movements, I will happily buy at the top of the pump as long as we break the 236, as long as we're doing stuff like that. I'll happily buy there. If it goes down and I have the misfortune of buying at the high, I'll just buy more. I'll load it up. I'll double the value that I added, because now this guarantee from here that I was excited about to the 382, it's even bigger now. You know what I mean? It's not a guarantee. I said guarantee. I don't mean that, but statistically, guys, it's like over 90% of the time when you break above the 236, you hit that 382. It's inevitable. And oftentimes when you interact with the 382 on your first attempt, which this is your first attempt after the low, okay? I know it looks like these were attempts here, but they're not, right? That was from the high to a low, this whole fib range. This is your first attempt. Oftentimes you do go above the 382. What's above the 382? Points of resistance on a price perspective. Not just here, but back here as well. So I think, and actually if we look at this, if we tried to make this even more formed properly, if you put it at these lows, you actually interact with these lows, this point of resistance, almost these lows here, these points of resistance, like quite literally, it fits better in my opinion, and that's about 157% move. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'll take that at the end of the month of February or sometime in the beginning of March. I'll sell, and then I'll put it into other projects that I think are going to do well for a short-term play. And if it happens to surprise and it shows up, that would be great too. You never know, man, with these breakout moves. And I think crypto is about to break out across the space. I really do. You could see something that goes all the way up to your golden ratio here. And that wouldn't be as big as this move was last time that you did this from this exact same price. Literally, it's the exact same thing, right? It's literally the exact same. You bottomed at the exact same price. You consolidated in the exact same area, but for longer now and more, I would say even more productive, a more sustainable kind of move. I don't think it's crazy at all to call for the 61869. You could do a 4 and 4.8x, a 6x, something like that. Yeah. whatever. More than that, we'll see. Time will tell. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.